You know the car, the jumps, that wild horn. But what you don't know is how close the Dukes of Hazzard came to falling apart behind the scenes. Behind the denim and dust were contract meltdowns, dangerous stunts, and last-minute fixes the studio never wanted you to know about. These are 15 crazy facts about the Dukes of Hazzard. And wait until the end, because we've got one bonus fact that explains why the show ended without a real goodbye. Buckle up. Things are about to get wild in Hazzard County. Number 1. The General Lee wasn't just a car. It was practically another character on the show. It soared through the air, crashed through barns, and survived explosions without a scratch. At least that's how it seemed on screen. But behind the scenes, it was carnage. Every big jump you saw was real. No CGI, no tricks. And every time the General Lee landed, the impact bent the frame, shattered axles, and ruptured suspensions. Each stunt typically destroyed the car completely. Producers knew this and kept going. By the time the series wrapped, they'd wrecked over 300 Dodge Chargers. At one point, the show's crew was driving around rural America, desperately buying any old Chargers they could find, just to smash them a week later. Eventually, they ran out. Chargers became so scarce that stunt coordinators had to get creative, secretly reusing footage, modifying other cars to look like the General Lee, and even building mock-ups to keep the magic alive. So yeah, the General Lee might have been invincible on camera, but off-screen, it was one of the most destroyed cars in Hollywood history. Number 2. Bo and Luke Duke were more than just characters. They were the heart of the show. But in 1982, everything suddenly fell apart. Actors John Schneider and Tom Wopat demanded a bigger share of the show's merchandising profits. The network refused, thinking the characters were replaceable. So they did exactly that. Bo and Luke vanished overnight, replaced by 2 new characters, Coy and Vance Duke. Fans didn't just dislike the new Dukes, they hated them. Angry letters flooded CBS. Ratings plunged. Merchandise sales tanked. Within weeks, the show was in trouble, and producers were scrambling to fix the mess they'd made. Realizing their mistake, CBS had no choice but to bring the originals back. Schneider and Wopat returned triumphantly, restoring the show's ratings almost immediately. Coy and Vance quickly disappeared, becoming a cautionary tale in television history. Never underestimate fan loyalty. Number 3. Those iconic denim shorts were so famous, they even got their own nickname, Daisy Dukes. But what most people don't know is how close CBS came to banning them altogether. Network executives panicked after the first few episodes aired. They thought Catherine Bach's shorts were far too revealing for primetime TV. To tone things down, CBS demanded she wear flesh-colored pantyhose under the shorts, hoping it would somehow make the look more appropriate. Ironically, this move had the opposite effect. Instead of hiding Daisy Duke's shorts, the pantyhose only drew more attention to her legs. Suddenly, women across America were racing to copy Daisy's style, causing a brief nationwide stocking shortage in 1980. What began as network censorship became one of TV's most famous fashion moments. CBS learned the hard way. Sometimes trying to hide something only makes it more iconic.
Well, I know how I feel right now.
Daisy, hold on.
Number 4. The car jumps, the explosive crashes, the thrilling chases, all of it was real. But behind those spectacular stunts was a terrifying reality. Stunt drivers on the Dukes of Hazzard regularly risked their lives, performing jumps that pushed the limits of physics and human endurance. There was no CGI, no safety nets, just adrenaline, skill, and steel. Injuries weren't rare. They were routine. Broken bones, concussions, and hospitalizations were common. The show's stunt coordinator once admitted they ran through stuntmen almost as fast as they went through Dodge Chargers. Insurance companies eventually caught on, hiking premiums and threatening to shut down production altogether. But the producers pressed forward, determined to keep the action real, no matter the cost. And every jump you ever cheered at home had someone behind the wheel bracing for impact and praying they'd walk away. Number 5. The General Lee became iconic, in part because of its distinctive paint job, complete with the controversial Confederate flag. But that flag also caused serious trouble overseas. Several countries outright banned the Dukes of Hazzard, citing the flag as offensive and insensitive. Even some areas in the US later pulled reruns off airwaves, and toy companies quietly removed merchandise from shelves. Producers and actors were shocked. To them, the flag had represented rebellious spirit and Southern pride, never hatred or division. Yet controversy followed the show long after it ended. Years later, as America grappled with complex historical issues, the Dukes faced renewed controversy. For better or worse, the show show's legacy became forever tied to a symbol the producers never expected would overshadow the adventures of the Duke family themselves. And hey, if these stories are already surprising you, we're just getting started. If you're enjoying the video so far, why not take a moment to like and subscribe? We've got even wilder stories still ahead, including actors nearly quitting, stunts gone horribly wrong, and a bonus fact that reveals why the Dukes never got the ending they deserved. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 6. Sheriff Rosco P. Coltrane wasn't just comic relief. He was one of the show's defining characters. But that goofy laugh, the quirky stutter, and his cartoonish tone weren't in the script. Actor James Best improvised it out of frustration, deliberately exaggerating the character to amuse himself. Producers hated it at first. They thought it undermined Roscoe's authority as a villain. Yet during audience tests, something unexpected happened. People loved Roscoe's oddball humor. The laughter was infectious, the character unforgettable. What started as Best's small act of rebellion transformed Sheriff Rosco into a TV legend. Number 7. By the mid-1980s, Dodge Chargers were practically extinct on set. The endless crashes and jumps had drained the supply. Producers faced a real crisis. How could they film without cars? Their solution: movie magic. They used miniature models for aerial stunts, carefully reused footage from earlier episodes, and disguised different cars with clever paint jobs and fake body panels. At one point, they even dressed up an old AMC ambassador, hoping viewers wouldn't notice. And for years, nobody did, proving Hollywood's oldest trick: if you're out of reality, just fake it convincingly. Number 8. To viewers, Luke Duke was cheerful and carefree. But behind the scenes, actor Tom Wopat was deeply frustrated. He openly criticized the writing, calling scripts childish, repetitive, and downright insulting. Wopat wanted deeper stories, better dialogue, and meaningful character development. He felt the writers treated the audience like kids, underestimating their intelligence. He repeatedly threatened to quit, clashing with producers, and voicing his frustrations publicly. Yet, despite his dissatisfaction, fans never knew. On screen, Luke Duke always smiled. It was an actor's secret struggle, giving fans what they wanted, even when he himself felt disappointed by what the show could have been. Number 9. When CBS forced Catherine Bach to wear pantyhose under Daisy Duke's famous shorts, nobody expected it would spark a national shopping craze. Almost overnight, women across America rushed to buy the same sheer stocking. Stores ran out. Manufacturers scrambled to restock. Headlines called it the Daisy Duke effect. And even fashion industry experts were stunned by the sudden surge. Catherine Bach had accidentally started a cultural revolution, and to think it all started because network executives thought her legs were too provocative for TV. Number 10. Today, the Dukes of Hazzard is remembered as a family-friendly show, but the original pilot was anything but safe. Producers originally packed the pilot with moonshine-running jokes, suggestive dialogue, and enough raunchy humor to make CBS executives panic. After watching the pilot, network execs threatened to cancel the show immediately unless drastic changes were made. In a frenzy, producers scrambled to edit the episode, cutting entire scenes, reshooting dialogue, and toning down jokes just days before air. The pilot episode survived and became a hit, but if CBS hadn't intervened, the Dukes of Hazzard might have been remembered very differently, or never remembered at all. Number 11. Wayan Jennings wasn't just the narrator. He was the heart and voice of the Dukes of Hazzard. But initially, Jennings didn't even want the job. When producers first approached him, Jennings hesitated. He thought TV was beneath him, something trivial. But the producers persisted, believing Wayan's deep, folksy drawl was essential to set the show's tone. Eventually, Jennings agreed, reluctantly, to record a few lines, expecting nothing from it. What happened next surprised everyone. Jennings fell in love with the show's playful humor, quirky characters, and easygoing charm. His narration soon became iconic, shaping the series' personality almost as much as the actors themselves. In the end, Jennings admitted joining the Dukes of Hazzard was one of the best decisions he ever made. Number 12. That instantly recognizable Dixie Horn seemed built right into the General Lee, but originally it wasn't even part of the show. The horn idea came as a last-minute joke from a crew member. Producers initially laughed it off until they heard it tested during filming. It clicked perfectly with the show's rebellious Southern spirit. Suddenly, a temporary joke became permanent. Ironically, most General Lees used on set didn't even have working Dixie horns. The sound effect was dubbed in post-production. Yet that simple last-minute addition became one of the car's defining defining features, remembered vividly by millions. Number 13. When original stars Schneider and Wopat briefly left, ratings didn't just dip, they completely collapsed. Fans angrily abandoned the show, refusing to accept the replacement Dukes. The damage was deeper than anyone realized. Merchandise sales plummeted, ad revenues dried up, and CBS executives panicked. Producers frantically negotiated with Schneider and Wopat, begging them to return and rescue the sinking show. Eventually, the original actors came back, but the scars from that ratings disaster never fully healed. It was a stark lesson. In television, replacing beloved actors is rarely forgiven by fans. Number 14. Sorrel Book played Boss Hogg, a loud, scheming Southern politician. But off-camera, Book couldn't have been more different from his character. In reality, Book was incredibly sophisticated and highly educated. He spoke 5 languages fluently, held multiple degrees from prestigious universities, and was considered one of Hollywood's smartest actors. On set, his intelligence stunned co-stars and crew members alike, yet he fully embraced the cartoonish villainy of Boss Hogg, hiding his vast intellect behind comedic buffoonery. Fans never suspected that their beloved goofy antagonist was actually the sharpest mind on the show. Number 15. One of the show's signature moves, Bo Duke's legendary slide across the hood of the General Lee, was never supposed to happen at all. Actor Tom Wopat was rushing to hit his mark during filming, and in a burst of improvisation, jumped across the hood to save time. Producers saw the footage and were thrilled. The accidental move looked incredibly stylish, spontaneous, and cool. From that point on, hood sliding became Bo Duke's iconic signature, recreated countless times throughout the series and copied by fans worldwide. What viewers saw as planned perfection was nothing more than a brilliant accident. Bonus fact: after 7 seasons, the Dukes of Hazzard had become a pop culture phenomenon, but surprisingly, it never got a proper goodbye. In 1985, ratings had started slipping. Without warning, CBS abruptly canceled the show, leaving cast and crew stunned. There was no final episode, no big farewell, and no resolution to the stories fans had followed for years. The actors found out through newspapers, not from the network. Fans were heartbroken, feeling betrayed that their favorite show vanished without closure. Petitions were signed, letters were sent, but nothing changed. For years afterward, the cast spoke of regret over never getting a chance to truly thank the fans or say goodbye. The series ended as suddenly as it began, forever frozen in time. The Dukes of Hazzard might have looked carefree and wild on TV, but behind every stunt, laugh, and crazy chase was a story of struggle, surprises, and sheer determination. If you discovered something new, or just love seeing your favorite show in a new light, make sure to hit like, tap subscribe, and let us know in the comments which fact surprised you the most. Thanks for watching, and always remember what Uncle Jesse once said: just 'cause you're born poor, don't mean you're born stupid. See you in the next one.